Have you ever felt like your ideas weren't being heard, or that connecting with people on a deeper level seemed like a mystery? Imagine possessing the key to unlock more meaningful relationships, to navigate disagreements with grace, and to inspire others to willingly support your vision. We all interact with people every single day, whether it's at work, with family, or among friends, and the quality of those interactions profoundly impacts our success and happiness. What if mastering these human dynamics was the secret ingredient to achieving your biggest goals and truly making your mark? Today, we're diving into the timeless wisdom of Dale Carnegie, a man who dedicated his life to understanding what truly makes people tick and how to build bridges, not walls. His principles aren't about manipulation. They're about genuine connection, understanding, and bringing out the best in others, which in turn brings out the best in you. Get ready to discover practical, life-changing strategies that have stood the test of time and can empower you to become a more influential, respected, and successful individual in every area of your life. We've distilled some of the most powerful insights from Carnegie's work into actionable steps you can start using today. You won't want to miss a single one, because each principle builds on the last to create a complete picture of mastering human relations. So settle in, prepare to take some notes, and if you find value in these timeless secrets, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your journey to mastering persuasion and positively impacting your world starts right now. The fundamental principle: forget criticism. One of the most significant barriers to positively influencing others is the ingrained tendency to criticize, condemn, or complain. These actions immediately breed resentment and put the other person squarely on the defensive, effectively shutting down any possibility of effective communication. When someone feels attacked or judged, their natural instinct is to protect themselves, to build walls rather than open up to a different perspective. This defensive posture makes it incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to guide them toward a new idea or motivate them to change their behavior willingly. If our goal is truly to lead someone toward a new viewpoint or inspire them to take action, we must consciously refrain from sharply pointing out their flaws or mistakes. Instead of focusing on what they did wrong, we need to shift our approach to understanding why they acted in a certain way. This involves looking beyond the surface behavior to the underlying circumstances, motivations, or perhaps lack of information that led to their actions. Seeking this understanding requires empathy and a willingness to see the situation from their perspective, which is a far more constructive starting point than immediate judgment. By choosing to understand rather than condemn, we create an atmosphere of acceptance. This environment is crucial because it lowers the other person's defenses and makes them more receptive to listening to our ideas or suggestions. Change that comes about voluntarily, stemming from a place of understanding and acceptance, is far more likely to be lasting and genuine than change that is forced or grudgingly accepted under pressure. Forgetting criticism isn't about ignoring problems. It's about choosing a method of addressing them that disarms the individual and opens their mind to solutions and different ways of thinking. This approach acknowledges the inherent dignity of the individual, fostering an environment where they feel safe to consider new possibilities without the sting of personal attack, ultimately making them more amenable to positive influence and growth. The genuine power of sincere appreciation. Every single human being possesses a deep-seated craving to feel acknowledged and valued. Sincere and honest appreciation stands as one of the most potent tools at our disposal for building strong relationships and fostering goodwill. This isn't about offering empty flattery or insincere compliments simply to gain favor. True appreciation comes from genuinely recognizing the merits, the efforts, and the positive qualities we observe in others. It's about taking the time to notice the good and expressing that recognition authentically. When we genuinely express gratitude and appreciation, we not only strengthen the bonds of our relationships, but also powerfully motivate individuals to maintain or even enhance the behaviors and attitudes that we value. People are more likely to repeat actions for which they receive sincere positive reinforcement. Knowing that their contributions and qualities are seen and appreciated encourages them to continue striving and investing their energy. This creates a positive feedback loop that benefits both parties involved. Offering sincere appreciation is a gift that costs very little to give in terms of effort or resources, yet its potential impact is immeasurable. A few genuine words of thanks or recognition can brighten someone's day, boost their confidence, and significantly improve their attitude towards you and their tasks. It's a fundamental principle of human connection and a cornerstone of effective influence because it builds trust, fosters loyalty, and creates a receptive environment for future interactions and ideas. Furthermore, cultivating a habit of looking for the good in others and expressing it sincerely shifts our own focus to the positive aspects of people, improving our own outlook and making us more pleasant and influential individuals to be around. Arousing in the other person an eager want. The most effective form of persuasion is not about forcing someone to do something against their will, but rather helping them discover why they would genuinely want to do it themselves. This approach hinges on understanding the other person's perspective, delving into their needs, their desires, their goals, and their aspirations. Only by truly grasping what motivates them can we hope to connect our ideas or proposals to their existing internal drives. Once we understand their world, the key is to illustrate how our suggestion, idea, or request directly aligns with their own interests. We need to show them how fulfilling our request will help them satisfy a need, achieve a goal, or realize a desire they already possess. When a person sees a clear link between what you want them to do and what they themselves eagerly want, the internal resistance they might have initially felt begins to dissolve. Their motivation shifts from external pressure to internal desire. When we successfully ignite this eager want within the other person, action becomes a natural consequence of their own motivation. This internal drive is far more powerful and sustainable than any external coercion or persuasion technique that doesn't resonate with their core interests. It's about finding that sweet spot where their objectives intersect with yours, creating a win-win scenario where their pursuit of their own desires naturally leads to the outcome you are hoping for. This principle moves beyond simply stating your case and delves into the art of truly understanding the other person's world, acting as a guide to help them see how your proposition serves their own best interests, making them not just agreeable, but genuinely enthusiastic. A genuine interest in other people. In a world that often feels increasingly self-centered, demonstrating a genuine interest in the lives, thoughts, and experiences of others is a quality that truly sets individuals apart and makes them memorable. People are significantly more likely to be receptive to and influenced by those who take the time and effort to truly listen to them and get to know them on a deeper level, beyond just surface-level interactions. This authentic curiosity about others is a cornerstone of building meaningful connections. Showing genuine interest involves more than just polite nodding. It means asking sincere questions about their thoughts, feelings, work, hobbies, and families. It requires truly listening to their responses, paying attention not just to the words, but also to the emotions and context behind them. Furthermore, remembering details about their lives, their spouse's name, a recent challenge they faced, a success they shared, demonstrates that you value them as an individual and that your interest extends beyond the immediate conversation. Taking. A genuine interest lays the foundation for deep connections and long-term positive influence. When people feel seen, heard, and valued, they are much more likely to trust you, open up to you, and be receptive to your ideas and perspectives. It's the fundamental building block of any significant relationship, whether personal or professional. It shifts the dynamic from a transactional interaction to a human connection, which is far more powerful in the realm of persuasion and influence. Ultimately, a sincere interest in others disarms skepticism and fosters a sense of goodwill that makes people far more open to your influence, not because they feel obligated, but because they feel respected and cared for. The unforgettable importance of a name. For virtually everyone on the planet, their own name is the sweetest and most significant sound in any language. Hearing our name spoken aloud in a positive context validates our individuality and makes us feel seen. Remembering and using someone's name demonstrates respect, attentiveness, and a genuine acknowledgement of them as a person. It signals that you consider them important enough to register and recall this fundamental part of their identity. In the briefest of moments, simply using a person's name when greeting them or interacting with them can create an instant connection and make them feel valued. It immediately personalizes the interaction and makes the other person feel more comfortable and well-disposed towards you. This small detail, seemingly insignificant, is incredibly powerful in the art of building rapport and fostering positive relationships, which are essential for effective influence. It shows you are present and focused on them. Consistently using names correctly requires conscious effort and practice, but the rewards are immense. It helps people feel important and remembered, which is a basic human need. By mastering the simple act of remembering and using names, you significantly enhance your ability to connect with others on a personal level, making them more receptive to your communication and more likely to be influenced by your ideas in a positive way. It's a subtle but profoundly effective technique. This simple act bypasses the anonymity that can sometimes characterize interactions and creates a personal touch that disarms potential barriers and makes the other person feel recognized and important from the outset. Becoming an exceptional listener. Many people engage in conversations primarily to formulate their own response rather than to truly understand what the other person is saying. Becoming an exceptional listener is a fundamental skill that is surprisingly rare in practice. It demands giving your complete and undivided attention to what the other person is communicating, absorbing not just their words but also the nuances of their tone, body language, and the emotions underlying their message. It means refraining from interrupting and resisting the urge to plan your reply while they are still speaking. Encouraging others to express themselves fully and talk about their thoughts, feelings, and experiences not only makes them feel significant and heard, but it also provides you with invaluable information. Their words reveal their perspectives, their needs, their concerns, and their motivations, all of which are crucial insights for effective persuasion that is rooted in mutual understanding. By allowing them to speak freely, you gain a deeper appreciation for their point of view, which is essential for finding common ground and tailoring your message to resonate with them. Listening well is more than just a technique. It is a powerful way to show respect. When someone feels truly listened to, it builds trust and opens the door for a more honest and productive exchange. It creates a safe space for dialogue where ideas can be shared openly without fear of judgment or dismissal. Becoming an exceptional listener is therefore not just about gathering information. It's about building a foundation of trust and rapport that makes influence through understanding and collaboration possible. Furthermore, demonstrating that you value their thoughts and feelings by listening attentively makes people more likely to reciprocate that respect and listen carefully when it is your turn to speak, creating a two-way street of communication. That is vital for mutual influence. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. To capture and hold someone's attention and interest effectively, you must learn to speak about what matters most to them. It is a common pitfall to focus conversations solely on our own interests, our goals, or what we want to achieve. While our objectives are important, they are not the primary concern of the person we are trying to influence. To be persuasive, we must connect our message to their world, their concerns, their desires, or their passions. This requires a conscious effort to shift the focus away from ourselves and onto the other person. It means understanding their priorities and framing our ideas or proposals in a way that clearly shows how they will benefit or relate to what the other person cares about. When we present our message within the context of their interests, it instantly becomes more relevant and appealing to them. They are more likely to listen and engage when they see the direct connection to their own life or work. Essentially, this principle is about seeing the world through their eyes and speaking their language in terms of what they value. It's about answering the unspoken question in everyone's mind: what's in it for me? By effectively communicating how our idea serves their interests, we transform our message from something we want to something they might eagerly want. This is a fundamental strategy for gaining buy-in and motivating action because it aligns your objectives with their existing motivations. When your conversation revolves around their world, their needs, and their aspirations, You establish immediate relevance and demonstrate that you understand and care about what is important to them, making them significantly more receptive to your perspective and ideas. Let the other person feel the idea is his or hers. A powerful technique in persuasion is to guide others towards your conclusion in such a way that they feel the idea originated with them. People are inherently more committed to ideas they believe they thought of themselves than to those presented to them directly by someone else. This approach requires subtlety and skill, acting more as a facilitator of thought than a direct instructor. Instead of stating your idea as a definitive solution, present it as a question, a possibility, or a suggestion for exploration. Encourage the other person to talk through the problem or situation, subtly introducing elements of your idea within the conversation. Ask leading questions that prompt them to consider the aspects you want them to focus on. The goal is to plant seeds and allow them the space to connect the dots and arrive at a conclusion that is, in essence, yours, but feels like their own discovery. This method bypasses the natural human tendency to resist being told what to do or what to think. When someone feels they have contributed to an idea or generated it themselves, their pride of ownership kicks in. They become invested in the idea's success and are more likely to champion it and see it through. This creates a much stronger internal commitment than simply convincing them to adopt an idea that feels entirely foreign or imposed upon them. Mastering this technique requires patience and the ability to listen intently, guiding the conversation gently without dominating it. It's about collaborative thinking, where you provide the framework and perhaps some key components, but the other person is actively involved in assembling the final picture. This not only makes the idea more palatable, but also empowers the individual, fostering a sense of agency and control that is highly conducive to positive influence and cooperation. Try, honestly, to see things from the other person's point of view. One of the most challenging yet rewarding practices in human interaction is making a sincere effort to see things from the other person's perspective. We are naturally inclined to view situations through the lens of our own experiences, biases, and needs. However, to truly understand and influence someone, we must step outside of our own viewpoint and attempt to comprehend their world as they perceive it. This involves actively listening and asking clarifying questions, not just to understand the facts of a situation, but to grasp the feelings and motivations behind their thoughts and actions. It requires empathy, the ability to put yourself in their shoes and feel with them, understanding their fears, hopes, and concerns. When you approach a conversation with the genuine intention of seeing things from their side, you open up a channel of understanding that is otherwise inaccessible. Attempting to see things from their point of view doesn't necessarily mean agreeing with them. You don't have to adopt their perspective as your own, but you must acknowledge and respect that their perspective is valid for them. When the other person feels that you have made an honest effort to understand their position, even if you ultimately disagree, they are much more likely to feel respected and, consequently, be more open to hearing your perspective in return. This practice disarms defensiveness and builds trust, because it shows you are willing to engage with them on their terms, acknowledging the validity of their feelings and experiences. It transforms a potential confrontation into a conversation, where both parties feel heard and understood. By first seeking to understand, you create the necessary foundation for meaningful dialogue and increase your ability to influence by addressing their concerns and connecting with them on a deeper, more human level. Appeal to the nobler motives. Most people at their core want to see themselves as fair, honest, and altruistic individuals. While self-interest is a powerful motivator, appealing to a person's higher ideals and nobler motives can be an incredibly effective way to influence their decisions and actions. This principle suggests that when trying to persuade someone, especially when their stated reasons might not be the most favorable, framing the request or situation in terms of their sense of right, their ethics, or their desire to do good can resonate deeply. Instead of focusing solely on the practical benefits or logical reasons for your request, consider how it aligns with their values. Perhaps the action you want them to take contributes to the greater good, supports a cause they believe in, or upholds a standard of fairness or integrity that they hold dear. By connecting your request to these higher principles, you tap into a part of their identity that aspires to be virtuous and principled. This approach moves beyond mere transaction and speaks to their character. This technique requires insight into the other person's values and beliefs. You need to understand what noble motives are likely to resonate with them. Perhaps it's their sense of duty, their commitment to a community, their belief in justice, or their desire to be seen as a person of integrity. When you frame your appeal in these terms, you provide them with a reason to act that aligns with their self-image as a good person, making the decision feel less like giving in to persuasion and more like acting in accordance with their own moral compass. Appealing to nobler motives is particularly effective when dealing with resistance that might stem from perceived self-interest. By offering a higher justification for the desired action, you give the other person a dignified way to agree or comply, allowing them to see themselves as acting from a place of principle rather than simply capitulating. It's a powerful way to elevate the conversation and tap into the inherent human desire to do what is right and good, fostering a sense of shared purpose rather than simply negotiating terms. Make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. It's one thing to persuade someone to agree with your idea or to commit to a course of action, but it's another entirely to ensure they feel positive and willing as they carry it out. The principle of making the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest focuses on the importance of their attitude and enthusiasm in the execution phase. The goal isn't just compliance, it's willing and even eager cooperation that leads to better results and strengthens the relationship. This involves more than just giving instructions or outlining expectations. It requires considering how the task or action impacts the other person and finding ways to make it appealing or rewarding for them. This could involve highlighting the benefits they will gain, emphasizing how their contribution is valuable and appreciated, or framing the task in a way that aligns with their strengths, interests, or desire for growth. The key is to connect the action you desire with their personal satisfaction or gain. Finding ways to make the task enjoyable or fulfilling can drastically change the outcome. When people feel good about what they are doing, they are more likely to be engaged, creative, and persistent. Simple things like offering encouragement, providing necessary resources, recognizing their efforts publicly or privately, or even making the process itself more interesting, can contribute to a positive experience. It's about ensuring that the act of doing is associated with positive feelings rather than resentment or drudgery. Ultimately, making the other person happy about doing what you suggest transforms the interaction from a directive into a collaborative effort where they feel motivated and valued. This principle is about building a positive dynamic where people are not just told what to do, but are inspired to do it with enthusiasm. It's a powerful way to secure not just action, but also goodwill and a stronger working relationship for the future, leading to more consistent and higher quality results. So we've journeyed through some of the most powerful insights into human nature, guided by the timeless wisdom of Dale Carnegie. We've seen that mastering persuasion isn't about clever tricks or manipulation. It's about understanding, respecting, and genuinely connecting with the people around us. From the simple power of remembering a name and the profound impact of sincere appreciation to the art of seeing the world through another's eyes and inspiring action by appealing to their nobler motives. These principles offer a roadmap to building stronger relationships and achieving greater influence, not over others, but with others. Applying these ideas consistently can truly transform your interactions. Imagine navigating challenging conversations with confidence, building rapport effortlessly, and inspiring cooperation because people genuinely feel valued and understood in your presence. This isn't just theory. These are practical, actionable strategies that you can begin implementing in your daily life, starting today. The path to increased influence and the ability to positively impact your world lies in your hands through the mindful application of these fundamental human principles. Remember, the journey to mastering persuasion is ongoing practice. Keep these principles in mind, experiment with them in your interactions, and observe the powerful shifts that occur. If you found these insights valuable and feel ready to apply them, give this video a thumbs up to let us know, And be sure to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you won't miss out on future videos where we'll continue to explore timeless wisdom and practical strategies for personal and professional growth. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. Now go forth and build those connections.